The assassination of American President John F. Kennedy occurred at a moment when he was passing through downtown Dallas in his heavily guarded motorcade. At that time, there were Secret Service agents along with him, as well as a full police motorcade. Not only that, but the FBI had been monitoring this entire route for several days prior. Despite all of this, on November 22, 1963, near Dealey Plaza, he was attacked and fatally shot within minutes. After the attack, the CIA, FBI, Secret Service, and police immediately sprung into action. But despite their efforts, they could not apprehend anyone other than a man named Lee Harvey Oswald within the confines of the law. Was this a well-thought-out conspiracy, or did a lone shooter manage to outmaneuver the world's top secret agencies to shoot the most famous president from just a few meters away? The official story was not digestible to anyone. There was a straight and simple fast route from the airport to the bank where the president was supposed to go, but why was his motorcade brought through the middle of the city? And who planned this route? The person who fired the shot at them officially, was it a coincidence or a reality of planning? The fact is that just a month earlier, he had got a job at the book depository only on a phone call. But how was it possible that a girl wearing a scarf, seen in the shooting scene video footage, capturing murder photographs, has not been found to this day? And what was her connection to all of this? But exactly 60 years ago today, American President John F. Kennedy was assassinated while riding in his motorcade. President JFK's death plunged millions of Americans into grief, while the investigation into this case has remained unsuccessful in answering numerous questions raised by people. It is believed that the top secret agencies of the U.S. have hidden a lot regarding the assassination and have not made the truth public. There are many reasons to believe this, among which the first is the issue of the venue. The venue where the president was actually supposed to go was in the city of Dallas, Texas, to deliver a political speech. There were two options presented. One was the Trade Mart, and the other was the Women's Building. It was recommended to select the view of the Women's Building, but Texas Governor John Connally wanted the president to go to the Trade Mart. The reason behind this was that the Trade Mart was a banquet hall, whereas the interior of the Women's Building was not suitable for the president to visit. Finally, on November 14th, which is 8 days before the Senate, the venue of the Trade Mart was selected. However, this news was not made public. Now it was time to decide how to get from Love Field Airport, where the president's plane was supposed to land, to the Trade Mart. Normally, presidential motorcades are routed in a way that minimizes interruptions or turns. There was indeed a route that bypassed the city entirely, taking the president to the Trade Mart from the outskirts. However, it was not selected. Instead, a route passing through the school book depository, from where the shooter attacked the president, was chosen. If you think this route was specifically planned for the president's attack, you're wrong. Yes, it was done at the president's own request because he wanted to pass through areas where people could see him. However, if it were assumed that the Women's Building venue was selected instead of the Trade Mart, then the president's motorcade would have gone east from the main road, increasing the distance from the book depository and making it more difficult for the shooter to target. Because the president's wife, First Lady Jacqueline, who always sat on his left side, and the shooter would come between the president and the shooter, it was crucial for the planning of the president's assassination that the Trade Mart venue be selected, as you have mentioned. The selection made by Texas Governor John Connally's intentions cannot be doubted, as at the time of the attack on the president, they themselves were seated with their wife in the presidential limousine and were also shot. However, their life was saved. Governor Connally was already against this route. He wanted to reach the Trade Mart from outside the city. But someone had already calculated all these things long before regarding the president's motorcade and venue. The motorcade and venue for his assassination were made public only -4 days before, meaning this information was not known to anyone before that. However, something had happened at the school book depository 2 months prior, indicating that this information was already known to someone. Yes, indeed, precisely 2 months prior. In September 1963, there was suddenly a shortage of staff at the school book depository. Vasily Fraser received a call from an employment agency offering him a job at the depository. Vasily Fraser lived in a town just half an hour away in Irving. He arrived at the depository the next day, September 13th, and was promptly hired by the superintendent there, Roy Truly. A month later, on October 15th, Vasily's neighbor also approached the depository superintendent by phone, and coincidentally, he was also hired the next day. Vasily's neighbor was none other than Lee Oswald, who was to be arrested in connection with President JFK's murder case 39 days later. Since Lee Oswald did not have a driving license, he could not commute daily. For this reason, he rented a room in Dallas and could not return home daily. On weekends, after office hours, he would go to his home in Irving with Vasily, and on Monday mornings, he would return to the depository with Vasily. The routine continued for a month, but it was broken just one day before the President's Senate, on November 21st. On this Thursday, Lee Oswald went to his home in Irving with Vasily. This was because he stated that he would stay in Dallas this weekend. The next morning, on Friday, when Oswald left home with Vasily to go to the office, he carried a long paper bag in his hand. Inside the bag, Oswald claimed, were curtain rods that he was planning to install in his room. Half an hour before the Senate, Oswald was on the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository building with some of his colleagues. It was noon at that time, and it was lunchtime. They all went to the first floor to have lunch. However, Oswald remained alone on the 6th floor. Outside the depository, quite a crowd had gathered. Some employees of the depository were also busy watching from the 5th floor windows. At exactly 12:30, the president's motorcade arrives, with the president seated on the right side of the car and the First Lady on his left side. The governor and his wife were also present. As soon as the presidential limousine takes a left turn from the book depository, the entire area is described as follows. The sound of gunfire echoes. Coincidentally, at that moment, a reporter was recording the entire scene with his camera. Some people claimed that 2 shots were fired, but others heard 3. One bullet hit the president's neck, and the other struck his head. Without waiting, the limousine driver speeds away from the location. Perhaps President John F. Kennedy's death occurred at that very moment. Someone identified as black was reported as white, but a police officer from the motorcade had seen a man firing shots from the 6th floor before. Without hesitation, he rushed into the building. Although he reached the 6th floor, no one was there. Within minutes, the entire building was sealed off by the police and FBI, and all employees inside were prevented from leaving. One employee was missing, and it was none other than Lee Oswald. Perhaps immediately after taking this action, Oswald had already left the book depository. He first went to his room, changed clothes, grabbed his pistol, and then quickly left. The police, who were now on alert, had mobilized the entire city's patrolling units. An officer on patrol spotted Oswald, but before he could act, Oswald fired 4 shots at the police officer and fatally wounded him on the spot. He had sneaked into a nearby movie theater and was soon found by the police, who arrested him and took him to police headquarters. For the next 2 days, he was interrogated extensively by the police, FBI, and CIA, but no recordings of these interrogations were made. There is no evidence available to anyone regarding what happened in the closed room. On November 24th, as he was being transferred from police headquarters to jail, he was shot by a man in front of the media and police. The hospital where John F. Kennedy was taken to the same hospital where Lee Oswald also breathed his last. This was the official disclosure, but many witnesses claimed that he wasn't the person they saw at the 6th floor window. Before being shot, Lee Oswald repeatedly proclaimed his innocence in front of the media, saying, "I'm just a patsy." Now, let's analyze this story. According to the police, Lee Oswald cunningly secured the job at the book depository and meticulously planned everything alone, hiding from the FBI, CIA, and police intelligence. However, people wonder, if Oswald orchestrated such a perfect plan alone, then why did he make so many mistakes in the end, such as fleeing the building, killing a police officer, creating suspicion upon himself, or hiding in a movie theater? After Kennedy's assassination, Several investigation reports were published, but each report was adding more confusion to the case. Even after Oswald's death, a theory emerged that perhaps he was killed by the same people who were actually behind all this planning, because if it was a conspiracy, it was still impossible to carry out without insiders. Many people believe that the FBI and CIA were also involved in this conspiracy because Lee Oswald was actually a former U.S. Marine and had previously been under FBI surveillance. However, they still concealed this fact from the president's Secret Service when they were deciding the motorcade route. During the investigation, many pieces of evidence were also tampered with, such as the removal of 3 bullet shells found on the 6th floor without being photographed first, and then they were placed back to take the picture from where they were fired. The initial video footage was created by the police, but it also mysteriously disappeared. Throughout the shooting, a girl wearing a scarf was seen in almost all photos and videos. She was holding a camera and captured all the photos of the president's entourage. This type of scarf is called a babushka, and hence she was named the Babushka Lady. Many theories suggest that the Babushka Lady was also part of the entire plan, her role being to record this scene. However, to this day, the FBI has never been able to locate this girl. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, please leave a comment for more interesting content and let me know if you have any stories or questions.